In the 3rd century AD, a Persian prophet named Mani wrote down a list of the 4 most powerful empires on earth. He named Rome, he named Persia, he named China, and he named Axum. Today, many have forgotten it. But 2,000 years ago, in the highlands of modern-day Ethiopia and Eritrea, an African civilization controlled the gateway between the Mediterranean and the Indian Ocean. They minted gold coins that were used from India to Constantinople. They built single-stone monuments taller than any obelisk in Egypt, and they believed, and still believe, that they possessed the most sacred object in biblical history. This is a story of the Holy Empire of Axum. Location is destiny, and Axum had the perfect location. Situated near the Red Sea, Axum was a master of the trade winds. If a Roman merchant wanted silk from China or spices from India, he had to pass through Axumite waters. If India wanted ivory or gold from the African interior, they came to Axum's port at Agilis. This wasn't a small tribal kingdom. This was a cosmopolitan superpower. Greek was spoken in the royal court. Jewish, Christian, and polytheistic merchants walked the streets. They were so wealthy that they became the first empire in sub-Saharan Africa to mint their own currency, gold coins bearing the face of the king. But Axum's greatest legacy wasn't gold. It was faith. In the 4th century, King Ezana sat on the throne. Like the Roman Emperor Constantine, Ezana made a decision that changed history forever. He converted to Christianity. This made Axum one of the very first Christian states in the world, adopting the faith before most of Europe. He documented this change on the Ezana stone, a massive tablet inscribed in 3 languages, Ge'ez, Sabaean, and Greek. 6. It is Africa's Rosetta Stone. On his coins, the crescent moon of the old gods disappeared, replaced by the cross. This wasn't a religion forced upon them by colonizers 1,500 years later. This was Christianity adopted on African terms by an African king, creating a unique Orthodox tradition that survives to this day. The Axumites were giants of engineering. 9. They didn't build with mortar. They carved. Their most famous creations are the stelae, giant granite obelisks used to mark royal tombs. The Great Stele of Axum was the largest single piece of stone ever quarried by humanity in the ancient world. It stood 108 feet tall and weighed 520 tons. Carved to look like a skyscraper with windows and doors, these houses for the dead pointed straight to heaven. How they moved these stones from the quarries miles away, without modern machinery, remains a marvel of logistics and leverage. It speaks to a centralized power that could command thousands of workers and master the earth itself. Axum wasn't just a peaceful trader. When provoked, it was a juggernaut. In the 6th century, Christians in present-day Yemen, then the Himyarite kingdom, were being persecuted. King Caleb of Axum declared a holy war. He assembled a massive fleet, some sources say 70 ships, and an army that included war elephants. He crossed the Red Sea. This was an amphibious assault in the ancient world. Axumite forces stormed the Arabian beaches, crushed the Himyarite army, and installed a viceroy to rule Yemen. For a time, an African king ruled both sides of the Red Sea. They controlled the flow of the entire ancient economy. The empire eventually declined due to the rise of Islam, shifting trade routes and environmental degradation. But the soul of Axum never died. It retreated into the mountains, evolving into the Ethiopian Empire. And at the heart of this identity is a sacred mystery. According to the Kebra Nagast, the glory of kings, the son of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba brought the Ark of the Covenant from Jerusalem to Ethiopia. Today, in the city of Axum, there is a small chapel, the Chapel of the Tablet. A single guardian monk watches over it. He never leaves. No one else is allowed to enter. They say the Ark is there, whether you believe it or not. This belief gave Ethiopia an unshakable strength, a sense of divine chosenness that helped them remain the only African nation to never be successfully colonized. Axum reminds us that the history of Christianity is not just European. It is deeply African. It reminds us that global power struggles, trade, currency, religion, have played out on this continent for thousands of years. The coins of Ezana are still found in the date. The obelisks still pierce the sky, and the prayers chanted in Ge'ez today are the same ones whispered by the ancients. Axum is not a ruin. It is a root.